How many of you, every time you spend your money, you either are maintaining your life or building your future life? Have you ever thought about this? That is where the concept comes, the difference between capital expenditure and operating expenditure. Hi, this is Anirudh Bellare here. Welcome to the 35th video of Your Best Financial Life. As I mentioned, in today's video, you will be knowing the difference between this word capital expenditure and operating expenditure. And wait, understand, it's not only the difference, it will be useful for your personal financial life, in spite of this concept being important for any business when it comes to preparation of their cash flow, financial statements, balance sheet, and other financial statements as well. Now see, before I move on to the first point, how will this video be useful for you, which is the most important point? Otherwise, why will you watch this video? Correct or not? This video will be important for you, whereby you will be knowing this concept that in capital expenditure, it is a one-time purchase which will be serving you lifelong. Now, what is this one-time purchase? Say example, a vehicle, a car, a bike. Now you have put in a lot of money to gain that particular asset for your life. Now see, this is a different type of asset which will be useful for your life, not financial life, your life. Now what do I mean by your life? You have to go to office or your business, it will be useful for that. Now when it comes to your capital expenditure, as I mentioned, one-time expense, but it will be useful for a very long period of time. Think about it. What are those which are like one-time expenses, but it will be useful for your long-term life? Example, your house. Isn't that a very useful example? That if there is no house, then where will you live? Pretty obvious, right? So this becomes true when you're purchasing a house. Remember, there is a difference. Renting a house and purchasing a house. This will come under purchasing a house because it will be an extreme long-term beneficiary for you. Now, moving on to this operating expenditure over here. It's nothing but the day-to-day expenses which happen in your life. Say example, you are living in a different city and you do not know cooking. Hypothetical example. Every day you need to order food, or you need to make food, or whatever, you need to purchase your food. Now your food will come under operating expenditure. Now see, why do you need to understand these two differences is because there is a lot of times you go wrong when it comes to getting investments and also maintaining your life. That is why I mentioned your money can be used to maintain your current lifestyle, or you can invest it so that that money can make more money. It's an option. This is just a intro line for me so that you can watch this video. As I mentioned, now why is this concept useful for you? See, in day-to-day life, it's pretty obvious. Nobody will tell you all of this. You go to your business, you can do your work, you come back home, you lead a decent life or a happy life, that's it. But for you to actually invest in this education becomes very important. The same thing for me. Teaching this concept, I can help myself by learning and growing. The same thing applies to you. Now see, moving on to the next point, it's easy for me to read all of this and tell you. It's not that big a game. But do you know what? It becomes important if you understand this jargon. That is why I've taken this word, capital expenditure. And I told you. Now the important point over here is something which can give you future value. Anything which can give you future value. Now see, as I mentioned, your house, your car, you buy it in the present so that it will give you value in the present and in your long-term future. Simple. Now, when it comes to duration, it is obviously going to be a long-term usage for you, even for a company standpoint. Now see, as of now I was explaining this concept for your personal life. When it comes to your business, just imagine, what does a business usually spend on? They spend on machines, they spend on humans as in for recruiting people, and they spend on all their what whatever they take, like machinery, your office, whatever the expenditure and all is there. But it is a one time expenditure for the company so that the company can progress in their future stage. That is why it is a long term usage or long term investment for that business. This is from the business standpoint. And now the benefit is for many years. It's pretty obvious. This is for your personal life. For a business, it's going to be machinery and whatever they bring for their offices, which is obviously going to be beneficiary for many years. Unless the company chooses to renovate itself, that's a different issue. Now the accounting treatment, most important. Now for any accounting treatment, see, for non-commerce students who are watching this video, I'll make it very simple for you. You have financial statements where the first thing you have is your balance sheet. In your balance sheet, you have assets and liabilities. Now, what is asset? Same capital expenditure, and liabilities, which will keep taking money out of your pocket. Now, you have your profit and loss statement, which brings in profit into the company and takes out losses. I mean, wherever you have inculcated your loss, it will be shown here. And then you have your income statement, same thing, your income from one side and your expenses from the other side. Now when it comes to this concept, how can you use this for your personal life? See, for balance sheet, any asset you buy in your house. Now what are the types of assets you can buy in your house? Now see, this is a different type of asset. This asset is where money keeps working for you. Even when you are sleeping, it's nothing but your passive income or your portfolio income, whereby without you actually trading your time, your money makes money on its own. And that's why you can write it down in the assets column. Example, your investments and all that. And your liabilities column, whereby say you do not, the current car which you have bought, you are not able to use it. And whenever you're trying to use it, you have to give it for your maintenance or repair, and it keeps taking money out of your pocket. That will come under your liabilities. Now for anyone to actually know your net worth, this concept becomes very important, difference between your assets and liabilities. Now when it comes to your profit and loss, see, if you're working in an organization, there are times you get bonuses and increments and some profit from some investments or whatever. You can make that in use into your profits. And your losses, somewhere say you sold an investment or that particular car which you have bought it in the shed and you have kept it and you're simply repairing it, you sell it. The buying price of that car must have been 10 lakhs. 7 years later down the line, it's going to be obviously 3 lakhs or something, because the value of that car would have dropped by the time you bought it from the showroom. So that will come under your losses. Now what is the whole point of me explaining this is, so if you have a fair idea on how do you actually maintain your accounts, whatever student you are, commerce, science, whatever, it will become easy for you. That's why I'm here. Today's day with internet, you have so many applications. See, I might not know any application right now, but if you Google it or whatever, you can find out so many applications whereby you can make a note, or in your Microsoft Excel or whatever. Makes your life easy, right? That is the sole reason I have explained this concept of your financial statement here within this. Now, as I completed this part, which is your capital expenditure, now mentioning this asset on the balance sheet. Now, your machinery and whatever you bring into the organization, from organization standpoint, when people are actually going to use that machinery so that it can generate profits for the business, is when this capital expenditure, that one-time investment will come under your asset column. Now, when you move on to your operating expenditure, as I said, is your food. Maybe say hypothetical situation, you're staying on rent. So rent is not a day-to-day basis, but it is something because of which your money is going out from your pocket. Or maybe I might be wrong here. Okay, so food is the best example here. This is from your personal life standpoint. And then your daily operations, as I mentioned, which comes under your purpose. Then you have short-term expenses. Most important point. Your present and short-term, within your 1 year, what are those type of expenses which you need to immediately repay off? Maybe say a credit card bill or whatever. From a business standpoint, it could be an outstanding loan for a machine or for any other item which is bought into the business. That is why your operating expenditure comes under short-term expenditure. And for the same financial year, what is the same financial year? In India, if you see, financial year starts every April 1st and ends on March 31st. I obviously know that you will know this, but for those who do not know, it's a new learning for you. Now, between these 365 days, which is your April 1 to your March 31st, all these will be transacted and shown into your balance sheet, profit and loss, income statement, and all of that. That is why your operating expenditure is also important. And if you notice the cash flow statements, you will have all of this in detail. Now, when you move on to your expenses and income statement, it is pretty obvious. Now, when operating expenditure happens itself daily, which is an expense out of your pocket, or you can say business pocket. These are two bifurcations, right? As I mentioned, your personal financial life and when you are working in a business or you are heading a business. So business is income or expenses. But for this concept here, it is an expense because it is going out of your pocket. For any business, money is going out of their own pocket, and that's why it will come under the income statement under the expense column. Now see, this video explaining this is not about what is going to go where, all of this. It is so that you get a fair idea about these two words, your capital expenditure and your operating expenditure, and it becomes easy for you to actually understand these points. Anything which happens day to day, operations. Anything which happens is a one-time payment which will serve you for a very long period of time, capital expenditure. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I truly have a lot of gratitude for you that you actually saw this video till the end and you could understand the value about these two important terms. Thank you so much once again.